Welcome to Garden Spot High School for another night of LL Hoops on LLhoops.com. Eric Thomas with you here tonight courtside. I'm joined tonight by Andy Herr from LLhoops.com. Warren Goodling is on assignment down in the Sunshine State of Florida. He'll be back with us next week for our final regular season contest. Well, these two teams are both 6-11. Cocalico 3-5 in Section 3. Garden Spot's at 4-5. Long road to climb for these two, or ladder to climb for these two to even remotely get into the district tournament. They're still in the mix. There's a lot of basketball to be played yet, but certainly that is not necessarily at the forefront of it. But this still should be a pretty decent game here tonight. Two rivals, big crowd on hand tonight, senior night crowd on hand tonight. And we should have a pretty good matchup here tonight between two pretty even teams.
I think so too, E.T. And before we start, I hope you're not going to be too sore walking out of here at about 9 o'clock tonight, having to carry 190 pounds on your back all night. But I will try my best to get us through this. But you're right. I mean, these are two teams that I think when they look each other in the mirror, that's what they see. They see mirror images. I mean, just look at districts. Cocalico, 26th. Garden Spot, 25th. 6-11 overall, 3-5, 4-5 in the league. And they're all within a game. And what made this game a little bit more exciting is not only due to their work in their most recent stretches, but also Manheim Central, who we thought was far and away going to run and take that second slot in Section 4. Forget about leaving the door open a smidge. They've really blown this door open for anybody, and that's why this game is so pivotal, particularly for Garden Spot, I would say, because Central's coming here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that'll be a big matchup for them if they can get through this here tonight. Cocalico and Garden Spot both averaging less than 50 points a game. They're both giving up around 50 points a game. Cocalico's lost 3 of 4. They beat Donegal by 2 on Tuesday night. Trey Rios had a big game, 27 points. Of course, we'll talk about him tonight. They survived a 25-point fourth quarter in that game, too. But the key with Cocalico this season, Andy, 13 times they've been under 50 points in a game this season, and they're 3-10 in those games. They got to figure out a way to score tonight if they're going to win.
They do, and you just said it. I mean, Trey Rios, it's not a secret. He is the key to what stirs their drink. I mean, in their 6 wins, he's averaging, 16 points a game, which is two per game over what he's averaging in the other games. So there's no secret. If you look at their box scores in their wins, he's far and away carrying the mail. So Garden Spot knows they got to contain Rios. And the other thing, what I like about him, Eric, is his free throw percentage at the line. We all know he's a sharpshooter from beyond the arc, but he's really getting it done to the line too, which tells me we know what his forte is, but he can get to the hole if he needs to and get some confidence there and get some free points at the charity stripe.
Garden Spot has lost 5 of 6. They beat Cocalico on Tuesday night themselves. They got nice games from Brendan Weaver and also Michael Heisley, who each scored 10 points in that game. So these are two teams that tried to shake off losses, losing streaks. They were able to do that both on Tuesday night. Big matchup here tonight. Schedule up ahead. You mentioned for Garden Spot what they have ahead of them after Cocalico tonight. It's Manheim Central, Elko, and LS. And for Cocalico, they're going to have, after tonight, Solanco, LS, and Manheim Central. So both are going to get LS, who's still undefeated, by the way, and both are going to get Manheim Central. And that's going to be really interesting as they dim the lights here tonight for the entrance of the home Garden Spot Spartans. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Cocalico tonight. They will be led by Trey Rios, who is averaging 14.6 points a game. He's drained 52 three-pointers on the season. Bryson Flinton and Tate Whelan, along with Jared Stauffer and Nick Spangler, round out the starting 5 for Cocalico. Nobody else for the Eagles averaging double figures outside of Rios. So we know he's the big gun. We know he's going to be the guy that is going to they're going to try to get involved early in this game. He had 13 points in 3 three-pointers in the first meeting. That was back on December 17th. That was won by Cocalico by a count of 33-26. For Garden Spot tonight, they will start Tyler Martin, George Rohrball, Luke Steiner, Brendan Weaver, and Ryan Conrad. Nobody in their starting 5 is averaging double figures. Weaver leads the team at 8.3 points a game. Not a very good I shouldn't say good, but not a very high percentage three-point shooting team either. You're talking about a 30 difference in terms of made three-pointers between these two teams here this season.
You are, and what's interesting is you were talking about Cocalico and how they, really like to shrink the game and they don't score a whole heck of a lot. Garden Spot might be the exact epitome of that. If you look at their December alone, Eric, they scored in the 30s 3 times out of their 6 games. So 50% of the time they were held under 30. Their high water mark was 53 points. And like you said, in the game against Cocalico the first time around, they only hit 26. And to your point with Rios in the first matchup, he was the only one in double figures. He had 10.
We will take time here tonight to listen to tonight's national anthem. First, want to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Sable McKinney. For all your real estate needs, looking for a real estate agent, call Sable McKinney. Let her help you sell your home. Schedule your appointment today, 717-715-7984. It is Garden Spot and Cocalico, a pair of 6 and 11 teams locked up in the middle of Section 3. And we'll have the tip for you after we take a listen to tonight's national anthem. As we get everything squared away here at Garden Spot High School. Gorgeous atmosphere for basketball tonight. Big, wide sidelines on both sides. And a very bright gym and very open as we listen to tonight's national anthem. National anthem tonight by the Spot Pep Band, which is in attendance here off to our right.
They knew Eric Thomas was coming. That's why
right.
They brought the big guns out tonight.
Out the red carpet tonight. You're damn right they did. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Hearts Physical Therapy, a locally owned independent outpatient physical therapy clinic with 5 convenient locations in Lancaster County. They specialize in orthopedic rehabilitation, aquatic therapy, post-surgery, sports injuries, and vestibular therapy. Unparalleled patient outcomes and an average net promoter score of 95 reflect their unwavering commitment to their patients. It's your choice where to go for physical therapy. Experience the difference that Hearts Physical Therapy can make in your recovery. Cocalico will be in the all-royal with the black trim, and Garden Spot in the home white with the royal trim. And it'll be Stauffer for Cocalico, and for Garden Spot it'll be Brendan Weaver. Tap controlled by the home team.
One thing you're going to notice with Spot is they like to do a lot of off-the-ball movements, set a lot of screens, get guys open, and they're really going to try to get guys like Heisey open for 3 if they can.
Early turnover as Flinton comes away with it for Cocalico. Rios on the drive, leaves it short. Rebound still controlled by the Eagles. 30 seconds into this first quarter almost, then we're going to get a foul already. It's going to be on Garden Spot. Now it's going to be on Rohrball. That's the first on either side. Spot student section not happy about the call.
PG related, though.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Spangler with it, and Flinton number 2. Rios is number 1 in case you've yet to see this team. He is the one we'll keep an eye on offensively tonight for Cocalico.
The one thing about Cocalico, too, Eric, is once Flinton came back from his injury, you can just tell they moved the ball a whole heck of a lot better. He's great with knifing through the lane and kicking out. That's kind of his forte.
Offensive foul called on Cocalico. Not only the first on the Eagles, that's on Stauffer. Almost a minute gone here in the first, and we still do not have a point. Good movement by the Spartans as Martin steps up and he hits the first points of the night, 3-pointer. So we talked about Spot not being a 3-point shooting team compared to Cocalico. They get things going with a 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost a bobbled handoff there. Flinton goes to the floor, lost the handle, and Martin comes away with it, going the other way. Reverse layup, and he's fouled. Hits the deck hard, but Tyler Martin will shoot a pair with 6:30. Almost a bobbled handoff there. Flinton goes to the floor, lost the handle, and Martin comes away with it, going the other way. Reverse layup, and he's fouled. Hits the deck hard.
First game, 33-26. This is going to be a points per possession, good shot selection type game. If you're looking at points off turnovers, that's now what, 4-0.
Key stat: every possession going to matter between these two.
Yeah, if you're watching the NBA on ESPN later, it will be the same sport. It will just look drastically different.
And there was just 14 made field goals between the two teams in the first meeting, and it was, dare I say, a tractor pull when those two hooked up early on. That was sort of a sign of things to come, though, especially for Cocalico, with the way they have not scored a whole bunch this season. They're going to get another foul. Eagles only averaging 40.5 a game. That's among the lowest in the LL. That might be the lowest in the LL.
Well, and what's ironic is the 62 they had against Donegal was their high water mark on the season, and that came off of an 0-3 stretch after they beat Penn Manor. And you know, they looked really bouncy in that game, which is easy to say when you're making shots. I understand that. But I saw them play Octorara, which was the first game in that losing streak, and Octorara just took their lunch money. There was no other way to say it. So credit to Seth Sigmund and his guys getting them, able to right the ship here with that Donegal win.
Robo, by the way, picked up his second foul for Spot, so he is out. Michael Heisley is in the game for the home team. Dumping inside, Weaver. Everybody hitting the deck, it seems like. Good find on the inside to Conrad, but he couldn't connect.
One and done. That's going to be the name of the game for Cocalico. Don't let Garden Spot get any prolonged possessions if they don't have to.
Flinton slips, and he's called for the travel with 5:38 to go. Still 5-0 Garden Spot.
Need PennDOT in here to clean up this court. It's pretty icy.
Yeah, a lot of slipping and sliding on the opposing side from where we are, as Seth Sigmund's going to call a timeout here with 5:38 to play in the opening quarter. His team trailing 5-0. Coming up on LLhoops.com, we're glad to have you with us here on another Friday night of high school basketball action. We will have one more regular season game for you, and that comes your way next Friday night. We will be at the Falcon Cage, and that will be McCaskey and Cedar Crest. That'll be an important game in Section 1. Then it'll be the LL tournament coming up starting Valentine's Day. Tonight's game brought to you by the law office of Stephen W. Grosh. When courtroom experience and advocacy matters, we stand by in your time of need, proudly serving Lancaster County for 15 years.
Speaking of Crest, live update right here. We have Hempfield up 23-11 in Landisville right now in that big Section 1 matchup. Just in case anybody's wondering.
So many races in the league to be decided yet. The one that is over already, LS has wrapped up their section really for all intent and purposes, but
it's officially over.
Yep. That was over, seemed like maybe a month ago, the way that team's been playing, even though they're banged up at this point. Conrad, in the corner it goes. Heisley, three-pointer is on the way and good.
Again, that's that ball movement. If they want to get Heisley some open looks, he's making them. He's making them right now. They're up 8-0. Can't start much better on senior night.
Nope. 2 threes and a step in front by Martin and a steal. He's going to go coast to coast and lay it in.
Pick 6 turnover that time. 10-0.
Martin's got 7 of the 10 points. And we're only about halfway through this first quarter.
Think Garden Spot knows the ramifications of this game so far?
Yeah. Sure looks that way as Spangler, Flinton drives. There's Rios. He has not had a clean look yet. In the corner it goes, and finally Cocalico is on the board as Spangler drains the 3. Get a whistle. Three-pointer is good, so the points stand. Foul is going to be on Luke Steiner of Garden Spot, so Spangler is going to get a shot here to shoot 1. That is the third team foul on Garden Spot. Spangler makes good. 10-4 Garden Spot, 4:26 to go in the opening quarter. Ozzie and Martin on this near side. We are opposite, by the way, of the Cocalico bench at the far end of the floor. So we are on the floor tonight. Solid drive by Weaver, who lays it up and in.
Nice move by Weaver there. He knew he was going to catch his defender flat-footed and made him pay. Took it right to the baseline and finished with the reverse. Very nice.
8-point lead for Garden Spot. 3:57 to go. Josh Hostetter's in the game for Cocalico, number 11. Again, Rios not really had a clean look.
No, he hasn't.
Stauffer in the corner, they work it. And a little baseline jumper by Whelan is off the mark. Garden Spot controls it, coming up on 3.5 to go in the opening quarter.
And that's the thing that's interesting too, Eric, is you would think that with how low the scores have been and their averages, that they really want to grind this game to a halt, both teams, but they will push if it's there.
And that is Weaver on the drive, and Stauffer collects that rebound. Still an 8-point lead for Garden Spot. Stauffer. Whelan finds Stauffer again. They are sticking on Rios like crazy. He cannot get any separation from whoever is defending him. Right now it's Heisey.
Yeah, he's looking for a foul too.
Open jumper by Whelan is good for 3. Tate Whelan makes it a 5-point Garden Spot lead, under 3 to go in the first quarter.
That's the thing for Cocalico. We said at the top of the show, I mean, we figure Rios is going to be the guy, but so far it's been everybody but him, and they're still within shouting distance.
Weaver kicks it out. Martin with 2.5 to go in the first. His team leads by 5. Conrad drives. Little
nice move.
Running scoop shot is in. Everybody getting in the mix for Garden Spot here in the first. It's a 7-point lead.
Yeah, watching Rios off the ball, that is, you can tell they ain't letting him breathe at all.
Hostetter drives. Contact. He hits the deck. Out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Cocalico with 2:05 to go. Dylan Holt is into the game for Garden Spot. He will take the place of Luke Steiner. Steiner, the only guy on the floor yet to score for Garden Spot tonight. Hostetter. And Rios can't shake loose as Holt's the one that guards him now.
Need to get a ball handler the ball right here.
Rios, kick out. Spangler open for 3, no. Rebound into the hands of Weaver.
And I still like what Cocalico's doing. I mean, they're not getting terrible shots.
Weaver knocks down the 3 on the other end.
York College likes to see that. Showed off the inside mix, and now he's stepping out. Future Spartan.
Good balance by this Garden Spot team early on. It's a 10-point lead with 1:17 to go in the opening quarter. Whelan feeds it to Stauffer. Stauffer has not looked to really challenge Weaver much either. Rios will have it in his hands as we come up on 60 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Spangler on the drive. A lot of contact with Weaver. Alters the shot. And Garden Spot comes away with it.
Here they come running.
Weaver gets it right back. Under a minute. Pull-up three-pointer on the way. No. Rebound touched by Hostetter, but he tipped it to Stauffer.
I'm going one shot here if I'm Cocalico. I understand it's a 10-point game, but you just need to get a little bit more in rhythm and not, kind of overshoot your skis here, so to speak. Nice find.
Inside to Stauffer, who lays it in.
Nice find by Trey.
Stauffer's first points of the night. 20 seconds to go in the quarter. It's 17-9. Ten seconds to play in the first. Martin will dish it off, and it's Heisey. Fade away from the wing. No. Rebound collected by Hostetter. And that is how the first quarter will come to a close. Garden Spot Off to a very hot start here on the home court, 17-9 after one. You're watching live coverage of this Section 3 matchup here on LLhoops.com. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Lewis Agency. Parents, if you have children who are driving or getting ready to drive, Lewis Agency is here to help. Call the Stephen Everett Lewis Agency in Millersville to find out how they keep your costs low and teach your children how to drive safer with the nationwide Smart Ride program. This program includes accident forgiveness, so if your new driver does have an accident, you won't lose your insurance or suffer an expensive rate surcharge. Please contact the Stephen Everett Lewis Agency for additional information, 717-872-2466. Eric Thomas, Andy Hur with you here tonight as Garden Spot has a 17-9 lead after one. And a good start by the Spartans. I don't know that you could have asked for much. We said they don't shoot the three much. They don't. They haven't made many this season. They come out right away. They're hitting threes right and left.
They're making us look foolish, Eric. That's right. But, I mean, you're right. I mean, with a big crowd tonight, senior night, pep band in the house, you want to get off on a good start and off on a good foot. You know, we were kind of bemoaning they don't score a lot. Well, they flirted with 20 through the opening 8 minutes, so this is a full-out scoring explosion here.
Yeah, almost, quite literally almost halfway to their regular season point total in one quarter. Cocalico, we mentioned, only averaging 40 a game, 40.5. Garden Spot not much higher at 45.8. Rios, let's see if he gets more active as the foul's going to be called on Dylan Holt.
And that's what I was talking about with Flynn. You can just tell if he gets there on penetration, he'll penetrate and pitch, and that time got rewarded for it, picked up a foul, and closer to the count.
17-9, Garden Spot in front. Stauffer, Rios, Hostetter, Flinton, and Spangler.
Got a mismatch somewhere.
That one is pumped out of bounds by Holt. No, I beg your pardon, as Cocalico will keep possession.
And Garden Spot will switch up top. I watched a couple of their games here. They will switch up top. It's not like they're totally glued to whoever their man is in the lineup, which can lead to mismatches.
Rios goes lob pass into Flinton, reverses direction, gets it off to Stauffer, and there's a travel. .21 seconds into the second quarter, and Cocalico turns it right back over. This is Holt who has it. Weaver, who's got one of the threes that Garden Spot hit. Holt gets it right back, drives on Hostetter. Weaver up top, 7:20 to go in the half. 8-point lead for Garden Spot as Weaver throws it right back towards the Cocalico bench.
Nice job by Stauffer cutting off his air there on the line. You can tell Weaver was sizing him up, flicking his chops, and Stauffer said, "No, sir."
Nate Musselman calls a 30-second timeout with 7:14 to go in the first half. The section races in LL, and while they are tightening here, is not – there really isn't much as far as all of them. I mean, Hempfield and Cedar Crest tonight.
Right.
That's a 2.5 game lead for Hempfield right now. Cedar Crest just trying to hang on to a potential district spot as well. They're 500 going into play tonight. Warwick and Lebanon's a 2-game lead for Warwick, 8-2 compared to 6-2. LS has wrapped up the Section 3 chase.
Yeah, they cut down the nets last night against Cocalico.
Yeah, more so just going for second place, and that's why those games with these two teams in Manheim Central are huge coming up in the next week or two, because obviously a berth in the LL tournament is still on the line as Holt gets up there to block that Rios three. And so we'll see what happens with it. These two will still have a shot at making the LL tournament. They likely need way too much help as Rios finally gets on the board. And they'll have an opportunity for a three-point play.
It goes back to exactly what I was talking about. If you're a three-point shooter and if it's not falling, just go to the rim, get fouled, see the ball go through the net. He can pick up three here. It's going to be the old-fashioned way. Not the most sexy of ways, but still three all the same, right?
Heisey picks up the foul, and Rios picks up a three-point play. Bryce Nash is into the game for Cocalico. 6:50 to go in the first half. It is a 5-point lead all of a sudden for the home team.
Got a mismatch here on Weaver.
They go into Weaver. Now Holt gets it back. Holt is stripped. And Hostetter comes away with it for Cocalico.
They will push if it's there.
Yep, they will. And Rios might have had a look. Nash. Rios is still guarded by Holt. Flinton drives, and he traveled. Cocalico last season got to the district final and lost a nail-biter, a low-scoring nail-biter to Lower Dauphin. Of course, remember last year was district champs only in the state tournament. We're back to normal as far as that goes this season, but Cocalico and Garden Spot are way down the list right now as that one's kicked out to the corner. Heisey drives, gets it back up to Martin. 5:57 to go in the first half. Top of the circle is Conrad. Now Martin, guarded by Flinton. Pull-up three-pointer on the way that grazes the rim by Steiner. Got the rebound back, missed the turnaround, and Flinton has the rebound.
Remember that sequence in a tight game. That was 2 points that almost looked like a literal layup.
I get an offensive foul, and we'll go the other way. Legal screen on the Eagles.
Got a bakery here. We got all sorts of turnovers happening.
That was on Nash. That's his first. See, third on Cocalico. Actually, I have them I do have them for 3. Weaver in the paint. Good
nice
adjustment
move
by the big guy, and he lays it in.
Beautiful move there by Weaver. Up and under. Bit of a lost art in this game, but not so for him.
Takes it back to a 7-point lead coming up on 5 minutes to go in the half. Spangler over to Flinton. Flinton will put it on the floor. Now they find Rios. Trey behind the back, and we get a little hand check foul called on Holt. That'll be his second. Yeah, a lot. Looking at our schedule, and you think to yourself, well, this game doesn't really have a district impact so much, but it has an LL tournament impact, and that's why this game, even though these two teams at 6 and 11, is a very important game. You're talking about two teams whose only postseason shot might be that league tournament.
It is, which is ironic because, to your point, they're way down in districts, too far, you would certainly think, but this is still a playoff game, and for Spot, it actually is a playoff game, seriously.
Banging inside is Hostetter, and he throws one up off the glass, and that rebound is pulled in by Garden Spot. 4.5 to go in the first half. It's a 7-point lead for the home team Spartans. And the value of that tournament is just, nothing compares to that tournament as far as the District 3 leagues go. As Martin tries to lean in, Berks would be the only other one that comes close. The Mid-Penn one's a joke compared to any of the other leagues. York would be in the mix too, the third one. But
we do love our ball here.
Yeah, there is nothing that compares to the postseason tournament as Weaver slaps that one out of there. Spangler on the drive. Here comes Conrad the other way, gives it up. Holt lost the handle, runs into Flinton on the baseline. It'll stay with Garden Spot. And you know that these two coaches, Musselman and Sigmund, are telling their team, we don't have a district shot, we still have an LL shot, and that means a lot.
It's still a huge deal, and for Cocalico, it's they did the exact same thing in 2010. They made the league final, and they knew that was going to be their last game because they couldn't make districts. So this is kind of par for the course with their program, it seems.
3:45 to go in the first half. Inside to Weaver, back out. Pull up on the way, and Garden Spot still. Cannot miss. 21-12, they're in front.
17 points in the first quarter, and then now they only have 4 thus far. So Waters found its level a little bit there, but
Rios gets free and drains it.
That's the man.
Got all 5 of his in the second quarter, cuts it down to a 6-point lead with 3:12 to go in the first half.
You know, Eric, in their game against Donegal, they started off 7 of 7 beyond the arc. So don't know if that's going to necessarily be there all the time, but you hope that carries over.
Let's get the whistle here, and foul is going to be on Cocalico's Nash. That's his second. Weaver just couldn't hang on to that one as Whelan all the way to the other end, and it's blocked out of there by Martin. Great recovery defense by Martin. But he is called for did he call him for the foul?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, my.
But you know what? You live with that. Make him earn at the line. That looked like a given. Always live with a hustle foul and a hustle mistake. And there you go. Misses the first.
I won't repeat what the Garden Spot student section said, but I agree with them. I'll say that. Animated student section here tonight as Whelan makes 1 of 2.
Five-point game?
And it is. Under 3 to go here in the first half. Been a good game so far, too. We expected an evenly matched game here tonight, and we've gotten that thus far. Open 3 on the way by Conrad is good. He's got 2 in a row for Garden Spot. And that takes it to an 8-point lead as we come up on 2.5 to go in the first half.
That's the microwave man. I was here the other night.
Open 3 on the way by Conrad is good. He's got 2 in a row.
On stretch in the second quarter, so he is the microwave of sorts.
Vinny Johnson has...
The kids know who that is?
Probably not, showing my age. Flinton drives across the arc. Fadeaway, high arcing, clangs off the glass. And Holt the rebound. Everybody hit the deck again still. Weaver running the floor. The big fella all the way, no. And we got a late call on Spot, so we'll go the other way with 1:57 to go in the half. The rebound. Everybody hit the deck again still. Weaver running the floor. The big fella all the way, no. And we got a late call on Spot. That's the 8th foul, though, so that'll send Stauffer the other way. Interesting that Cocalico doesn't get Manheim Central to the last game of the year.
Snow makeup.
Yep, Garden Spot will get them next week, so it could come down to that last game on February 8th.
Correct, it certainly could, and you know, for those of us who have followed the LL, it's at Doe Run Elementary, which is actually probably a nicer gym than what Manheim Central has had. Limited attendance due to, fire marshal type stuff, but I assure you they're going to get everyone in there that they can.
There he is, instant offense again for Conrad. Second 3 in the quarter. It's a 9-point lead with 1:40 to go in the half.
Got to find him. He can get white hot.
He's got 8 in this quarter. Either way, it's Whelan. Stauffer gets the rebound. Josh Hostetter. I mixed up a couple. We have some different numbers. Hostetter's actually number 10 for Cocalico, and it's Taylor Hambright who was wearing number 11 earlier, so apologies for the mix-up there. We have an updated roster compared to what I used earlier in the week.
I'll get on Sigmund about that. Don't worry, I got you.
Spangler with 1:08 to go. There's Hostetter, and that's rather Spangler all the way, and the three-point opportunity is there for Nick Spangler, who has his second field goal as he hits the deck with 59.5 to go in the half.
There again, just when you think Garden Spot's going to, finally get some sort of a haymaker landed, Cocalico says, no, we're going to hang around for a little bit longer and flirt with double digits. Now maybe flirting with a half-dozen-point lead instead.
Steiner picks up the foul. Spangler makes his second free throw of the night. He's had a pretty good first half here. He's got 7. So a quarter of what Cocalico has done is thanks to Spangler here in the first half. Rios has 5 of his own. Rios has all 5 in this quarter as we come up on 45 seconds here, and Garden Spot looks content here to try to work some clock. Martin goes, penetrates. Nobody was there. Great defense by Cocalico. And Wheelan and the Eagles can hold for the final shot. Wheelan not thinking about that. Now he'll back it out. Chance to cut this down to as little as 3 and go to the locker room. All things considered, that'd be a pretty good way to end this half by Cocalico, considering how it started.
Amen to that.
Flinton finds Spangler. 13 seconds to go in the half. Rios with 8. Wrap around pass to Stauffer. Lost the handle, and Spot's going to get it. Martin fires it. Almost got it to fall. And they had plenty of time to get it down the floor, but that almost went for Garden Spot. Great first half here at Garden Spot High School. The home team Spartans lead it by 6, 27-21. Tonight's game is brought to you by Dan Taylor Family Law. Is your will, durable power of attorney, and living will up to date? If not, you should see LLhoops.com sponsor Daniel K. Taylor. Dan can be reached at 717-945-6212 or see his ad on our website. He can initially speak to you over the phone or meet in his Lancaster office. Home appointments are available for the disabled. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Spooky Nook. Spooky Nook Basketball is the leader for all your basketball needs. Everything from tournaments, leagues, camps, and personal training, all at Spooky Nook. We'll take time out. 6-point lead for Garden Spot at the half. You're watching live coverage of this Section 3 matchup here on LLhoops.com. Halftime here at Garden Spot High School. It's a 6-point lead for the Spartans, 27-21 over Cocalico. Eric Thomas and Andy Herr with you here tonight. Reminder again, our final regular season game comes your way next Friday night. It's Cedar Crest and McCaskey from the Falcon Cage. And tonight, across the LL, Cedar Crest locked up in an important matchup with Hempfield. And that is all Hempfield right now. 52-33 that game right now. What else we got going on here tonight that sticks out to you score-wise?
Well, score-wise, we were just talking about it before we came on the air. Octorara is really putting a nice stretch of play together. You know, it's funny. About a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, their bugaboo was they couldn't finish games. In fact, even here, they had a lead the whole game against Spot, and they lose 51-50 within the last 5 seconds. They got things started down at Kennett, which I saw on a Saturday afternoon 2 weeks ago, and then since then, they've been gangbusters. I mean, they beat Elko, who's beating Donegal right now by 5 up in Myerstown. But, yeah, Octorara goes into Catholic tonight, wins by 8, which for whatever reason that seems to be their home court of sorts, I guess. I mean, if they're not hitting half-court shots and everything else there. But, no, I mean, Coach Lambert, he does such a great job. And he and I talk quite often. I'm like, Coach, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to get in because – I just want people to understand how good Octorara can be in the league. And if they get that push into the league tournament, I think a lot of people are going to see how good that program can be. And, I mean, shoot, with this close, there's no reason to think they can't sneak in this year.
They actually played that game. They tipped that game early tonight with no JV game because of the weather, the looming weather here in the area. But, you're right. And they always seem to come up with a late season charge, too. Like, you look at them, like, beginning of January, and they're sitting like a, 5-7 or 5-8 or whatever, and then all of a sudden you look up at the end of February and it's like, wait a minute, how are they 13-9? How are they in the district tournament already? He does an amazing job down there, and hopefully they do somehow sneak into that LL tournament. Tonight's game is brought to you by Sable McKinney. Looking for a real estate agent? Call Sable McKinney. Let her help you sell your home. Schedule your appointment today at 717-715-7984. Leading scorers in the first half for Cocalico, it was Rios who had 6, I beg your pardon. 7 for Spangler, 4 for Whelan, and 4 for Stauffer. For Garden Spot, Tyler Martin had 7, Brendan Weaver had 7, 8 for Conrad off the bench, and 3 for Heisey, a pair for Conrad. And right away, it's Dylan Holt who gets things started in the second half with the first bucket, and it's 29-21 Garden Spot.
Fantastic two-man game to start things off. Coach Musk probably talked about that in the locker room. Let's get something easy. They got something easy.
Flinton, tough shot. Weaver the rebound. First 2 to 3 minutes of this third quarter going to be key for Cocalico, as Rios caught a little fire late in that second quarter, but it's been a slow night for him so far. Weaver on Stauffer, dishes it off, and Conrad will lay it up and in.
2 fantastic assists by Weaver to start this half off.
All of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead for Garden Spot. We're not even a minute gone here in the third.
And that's the thing about Spot, Eric, is, they have this massive York College commit, and you would think everything would go through him, and he is the big sword. But for them, if you look at the scores when they've won, it's really death by paper cuts. He's maybe the leading scorer, but as you touched about at Solanco, he shared leading scoring honors. So, I mean, they really are a well-rounded team with a nice piece.
Yeah, Weaver is going to be an exceptional player at that level. I think he's got all the potential to be a very good player for York, as Whelan knocks down the 3, so that cuts it to 7.
Here again, though, right when you think Garden Spot's going to do something, Cocalico says, nah, we're going to hang around a little bit longer.
Conrad drives, no, and Stauffer for the rebound. After the game, our post-game show will have player of the game honors, and maybe we'll get a coach from the winning team. We'll see as Rios drives, and that's hammered out of there by Conrad, but Conrad's going to pick up his second foul.
Going to the line yet again, another chance to score with the clock stopped. Cut this baby down to 5.
Rios on the season, 57 of 69 coming into play tonight. First points in the second half for him, he's got 7.
10 of 11 at the line against Donegal the other night.
2-point game, and remember, as Rios goes 1 for 2 that trip, they survived that 25-point quarter by Donegal. That's a Donegal team that's right in the mix of things as far as districts go, so every game is paramount for them as well. As Weaver gets the rebound off the miss. Step back 3 on the way. No, rebound is controlled by Spot for the moment. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Spartans with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Got a foul here.
Inbound. Spot controls it as they look to extend the lead here. Weaver, little head fake, runs around the lane. Nice find underneath to Conrad, who lays it in. And Weaver's showing you he's not just an inside presence or a guy that can step outside. He's now handling the ball and distributing here in this third quarter.
This is now the third time I've seen Spot this year, Eric. This is far and away the best I think he's looked. Because he's not scoring necessarily. He's doing all the other things to get everybody else involved.
Heisey's going to get called for the foul. That'll be his second. Or rather, that is on Holt. That's his third. Heisey was in the middle there as well. Inbound pass goes to Whelan. Flinton, who's been extremely quiet in this game, does not have a point. Rios. Drive, finds Stauffer. Weaver might have
I thought so
travel.
too.
Yeah, forced to travel there, but it's going to get the foul called on him.
So one nice thing being down in this corner was right in front of us, no obstructed view. But of course we're wrong. It's a foul.
When you wear a headset, my man, 9 times out of 10, people think you are wrong. Stauffer misses the front end. He is 2 for 3 tonight at the line. Big one here, goes 0 for 2.
Got to take advantage of those, obviously. Could loom very large.
Quick the other way is Conrad on the baseline. Backing down, Whelan, and he lays it in again.
Great bully move right there by Mr. Conrad.
Conrad has 6 in the quarter. It's back to a 10-point lead as we're under 5 to go. Rios, Stauffer, back to Rios. Spangler and now Whelan. Whelan hands it off to Rios. They find Stauffer, Flinton, everybody touching the ball here for Cocalico. Flinton, Rios, back to Flinton. Thought about the 3, drives, hangs, fires, connects.
That's his game. Get in the lane, make things happen either for yourself or for your teammates. It's another deuce.
Gets in the board or in the book for the first time tonight. Flinton, Rios, back to Flinton. Thought about the 3, drives, hangs, fires, connects.
That's his.
Turnaround, no, and that's going to trickle out of bounds and go back to Cocalico with 4:11 to play in the quarter as Jace Conrad is back in for Garden Spot. And Hempfield tonight in control of Cedar Crest, so that's really going to put them in the driver's seat for Section 1.
It's funny, everybody in this league has kind of had a weird stretch, and I think when we look back on it, Garden Spot right here might have had the oddest of stretches in a good way. They beat Township, they beat Catholic, and they beat Octorara all within that week.
Good find underneath with Stauffer, who lays it in.
And I think that stretch, Eric, going back to the beginning of January, middle part of January, is what really got them over the hill and got them playing much better, obviously.
Conrad can't find it this time, but rebound's tracked down by Heisey. Holt giving him nice minutes tonight. Conrad drives. Conrad off balance. No. Heisey gets in there for the rebound. Turnaround from the baseline. Too strong. Stout for the rebound with 3:27 to go in the quarter. Rios. Flinton. Flinton will penetrate again. Got tied up on the baseline. Stauffer. 3:10 to go in the quarter. 6-point margin for Garden Spot. Spangler will slow things down for Cocalico. Now he goes, bangs into Weaver. Weaver stood tall, looks down the floor, finds Conrad, outruns everybody, and he lays it in. Conrad's got 8 in the quarter, 10 for the game. It's back to an 8-point lead as we hit 2:46 to play in the third. Rios way downtown, short. Whelan had his hands on the rebound, but it's tipped out of there by Conrad, and that's going to be Conrad's third.
That's the thing. You don't want to take forced shots when you have an 8-point game. It's still totally right there. You don't want to get suckered into thinking that this hill is too far to climb, and you got to get everything back at once. Now, fortunately for Cocalico, they're able to prolong the possession here, and we'll see what they can get out of this.
2.5 to go in the third. Stauffer off the inbound, goes right to the bucket, too strong. Weaver down the floor. Weaver goes right around Whelan, and he's fouled. Off the inbound, goes right to the bucket, too strong. Weaver down the floor. Weaver goes right around Whelan, and he's fouled. Foul is on Whelan. That's his first, and Weaver at the line. First time tonight.
And like we said earlier, I'm looking up here at the board, Garden Spot scoring 8, 8, 3, 7. I mean, it's all so even, just like it's always been all year long. They don't have a perceived star who's going to go out and you can pencil them in for 20, which is fine. I mean, as long as you're getting solid contributions, that's all that really matters.
Second by Weaver, no, but Heisey the rebound. Great find underneath and laying it up. Too strong. There was Rohrball, but Garden Spot's going to keep it alive as Conrad gets it right near the sideline, and Nate Musselman's going to call a timeout. Weaver, no, but Heisey the rebound. Great find underneath and laying it up. Too strong. There was Rohrball, but Garden Spot's going to keep it alive as Conrad gets it right near the sideline. In counties, you can count on the attorneys of Busgen Davis Law Offices. Lebanon's most experienced legal team can help you in all areas of the law, including personal injury, family law, commercial and business representation, estate planning and administration, and simple or complex real estate transactions. Eric Thomas, Andy Herr with you here tonight, 38-29 Garden Spot. They have controlled this game from the tip until this point. Cocalico trying to hang around in there, and again, with both teams yet to play Manheim Central for the second time, this is a critical game as far as the section goes and who may get that second seed in the upcoming LL tournament from Section 3.
Which we didn't think so. 2 weeks ago, Manheim Central wins 11-0, and then they go 1-4 in their last league games, which, like we said at the top, doors wide open.
Offensive foul called on Spot with 2:09 to go in the third. It's on Jace Conrad. That's his first foul of the night as we come up on 2 to go in the third. Rios drives, and Weaver. Boy, that was a late block by Weaver, just showing his athleticism. He stayed right with the play, and then his offhand is how he tipped that one out.
And the other thing, too, Eric, that the coaches talk about, don't swat it into the 17th row. Keep it there and see if you can get, steal a possession out of that, too.
Foul on Garden Spot here with 1:51 to go in the third. That's going to send Flinton to the line for 3. Now they said no shot. And Whelan gets caught for the travel.
Coach Sigmund a little perplexed by that.
.130 coming up here on 1:30 to go.
Ball is not sticking for Spot.
Three-pointer on the way by Heisey is good.
See what happens when you move the ball around. You get open looks. Great job there by Heisey. End spot.
41-29, Garden Spot in front. Nash passes up the three opportunity as Hambright drives. No. Rebound controlled by Spot. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Weaver has it.
Weaver didn't block that one, but he essentially did.
Three-pointer fired by Conrad. No good. Cocalico could hold for the final shot. Whelan says no way and drains the three.
Essentially did.
Three-pointer fired by Conrad. No good. Cocalico just kind of hanging around here a little bit. They just have not seemed to get past this point right here as Weaver drives, and the basket's going to count. And still have an opportunity. They wave the bucket off. They did. So no bucket as Stauffer's going to come back in. That foul was on Nash. That's his third.
Boy.
Inbound's a mess as Heisey gets it back and he lays it in.
Heisey says, look what I found out of that mess.
11-point lead with 13 seconds to go in the third. Rios drives. Rios all the way off the window and in. 2 seconds left in that quarter. Martin scrambles, throws it up, and hits the glass. So a 9-point lead for Garden Spot going to the fourth quarter, 43-34. You're watching live coverage of this Section 3 matchup here on LLhoops.com. Eric Thomas and Andy Herr with you tonight.
While we have a chance, I do want to make mention, I understand we have two very important watchers tonight in Tennessee, of all places, and I want to wish them a very happy Pig Suey. Mr. and Mrs. Sigmund checking in tonight from Tennessee, so I know they're hoping that their boys' team can turn this around in the fourth quarter, but just wanted to say hello to those very important folks.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Hearts Physical Therapy. Hearts Physical Therapy is a locally owned, independent outpatient physical therapy clinic with 5 convenient locations in Lancaster County. They specialize in orthopedic rehabilitation, aquatic therapy, post-surgery, sports injuries, and vestibular therapy. Unparalleled patient outcomes and an average net promoter score of 95 reflect their unwavering commitment to their patients. It's your choice where to go for physical therapy. Experience the difference that Hearts Physical Therapy can make in your recovery. 8 minutes to go here from Garden Spot High School, and this Section 3 matchup between two 6-11 teams. But again, as we have stressed throughout the night, a big matchup in terms of the section race and who's going to get that number 2 spot out of Section 3 when the upcoming LL tournament, as both teams still have Manheim Central to come. It'll be Central against Garden Spot on February 1st, and then a week later is when it'll be Cocalico's turn, as Rios trying to start things with a 3, grazes the front of the rim, and Stauffer grabs the rebound but turns it right over to Conrad.
Good set there coming out of the timeout. You know who they wanted to get the ball to. That was very obvious. Rios just couldn't quite make it, and now Garden Spot's going to play on with the lead.
By the way, we're hopeful to have coverage of almost the entire LL tournament. We will not have the play-in round as Conrad drives and scores to start the fourth, but we are hopeful to have quarterfinal games on Monday night. The semis will be the 16th. We'll definitely have semis for you, at least one of them. Hopefully both are at the same location. That would be fantastic. And if the LL's listening, put both at the same location, please. That makes the most sense. And then the title game is Friday night, the 18th, as Rios clings another 3. And we will have coverage of both the girls and boys final on Thursday and Friday night. And then it's off to the district tournament. But that LL final last year was a lot of fun on that Saturday afternoon, and it'll be a Friday night, normal crowd situation at Manheim Township, and that'll be a packed house no matter who is there.
We were talking before we came on. Can you imagine if Columbia's there?
Oh, my.
You got to line up right now, probably.
Conrad lays it in again. He's had a red-hot second half. with 12 points, and it's a 13-point margin for Garden Spot.
He's had a couple of great bully moves right at the rim. Says, no, I'm going to take this spot from you and score on you.
Spangler hands it off to Stauffer, off balance. Basket counts, and a foul for the big guy.
I think they're going to call the foul before the shot, Eric, I think.
Seth Sigmund's arguing that. That's like the third time they've done that tonight. And outside of the one, I've thought continuation on two of them. Yeah, they are going to – they called this an offensive foul, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you're right. And they got Stauffer with an armbar.
Well, it is number one on the hold list, but just a weird turn of events there is – and it looked like we got a technical somewhere. I don't know if that was assessed to Sigmund or what, but Conrad has made the free throw. I'm not really sure what just happened, but
I was looking at signals. I couldn't get a great read on it either. But either way, that puts a huge dent into that lead.
Yeah, we thought we had a foul and a three-point opportunity for Stauffer. They called an offensive foul on him. He is not the one that is on the board, though. The foul went to Rios. So that's his first. So it was away from the ball. There was continuation on it as Conrad, who made both free throws, misses the jumper, and then the ball's going to stay on the Garden Spot side with 6:06 to go. So then you had Sigmund arguing it. Somewhere there was a technical called. Conrad makes two free throws, and now Garden Spot's got the possession. The Cocalico foul that time is on Spangler. And some of the signals from the officiating crew tonight, just they don't sync up with what you're normally looking at or looking for from the official. In fact, they look like they counted one basket good on a three-point opportunity. It was not. So I'm not sure if something needs to be said about that, but that putback is in by Conrad again. 14 points in the second half, 16 for the game for Conrad. Flinton drives. Stauffer back to Flinton as we're down to 5:27 to go. Conrad, the second leading scorer on this team at 7 points a game. Remember, nobody on this starting five for a Garden Spot averages double figures.
It's a communal effort is what you're saying.
Well, it's worked extremely well tonight. Stauffer, as we come up on 5 to go in the game. Deep three by Spangler. No. Rebound into the hands of Conrad.
Eagles have gone rather chilly at the most inopportune of times here.
That they have. Heisey.
Yeah, I like this for Spot. Just don't need to force anything. Play with the lead.
Steiner, who is the only starter tonight that has not scored. He hits the deck but is fouled. So he'll shoot two. Fouls on Stauffer. That is now officially his second. Steiner will get a chance to finally get some points here tonight. Rattles the first one home. Or rather the second one home, so 52-34 Garden Spot. Four and a half to go here from Garden Spot High School. And stay tuned after the game. We'll have a player of the game interview as Flinton drives, and he banks that one in for a three-point play.
Nice job by Flinton. That's what we said all game long. Get into the lane, make things happen for either yourself or your teammates. Chance for three.
Fouls on Heisey, his second foul. Went to no, and Conrad the rebound.
And another technical.
Yeah, Seth Sigmund got teed up. Looks like the now we're not sure who the first tech was on. So
yeah, so if the first technical was on Sigmund, he would have to sit down because if this was his second, he'd be DQ'd.
So I suspect that the first technical foul may have been on, well, I don't know. I really don't know.
Someone probably said something on the floor, one of the kids.
Conrad makes the first. All kinds of confusion here tonight as Conrad makes the second. He's had a nice night too, 12 points off the bench. Sigmund's going to call a timeout, and he's going to make it a full one. Yeah, you know, if it wouldn't be for not being able to coach the next game, I would get my money's worth. And that's all I'll say about that. Tonight's game is brought to you by Spooky Nook Basketball, the leader for all your basketball needs. Everything from tournaments, leagues, camps, and personal training, all at Spooky Nook. He would not be allowed to coach the next game if he's ejected, much like a player. So I try hard to keep it between the navigational beacons when it comes to officiating because they have the hardest job of anybody in this gym tonight. Everybody's constantly looking at them. Everybody is focused on them. Everybody wants to blame them when their team loses. And 9 times out of 10, it's not their fault that the team loses. But there have been some calls here tonight that if I was Seth Sigmund, I would not be as reserved as he just was when he got teed up.
No, you're right, E.T. I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, you hear on social media all the time just how these overzealous parents are letting them have it, so to speak. But, I mean, you're right. At the same time, if you're going to do the assignment needs to be clear and concise so everyone knows what you're calling. And, yeah, to your point, there's been some signals that I haven't quite seen or I don't know.
The official is still talking to Sigmund. You can see it there on the left side of your screen. Seth will have to take a seat, it looks like. And they will get a chair for him, so he will have to sit the next 4-11. Doesn't strike me as a guy that would be verbally aggressive. He's one of the quietest coaches that we deal with.
One of his few technicals I saw in a summer league game at the West Reading Summer League. He wanted to know what an illegal screen was, and the official didn't like his tone, I guess, and said, "No, Coach, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to tee you up." So maybe it's just me.
How do you get a technical foul in a summer league game?
It's high stakes, Eric. Summer.
Flinton fires, and that one's no good as Conrad gets the rebound. 3:50 to go. It is an 18-point lead right now for Garden Spot. They are running away with this thing tonight. Heisey, and he is fouled from behind by Nash. That'll be Bryce's fourth. By the way, Seth Sigmund has risen from the bench, in case you're wondering. You're right, though. It's typically when you get the one, they tell you that you have to sit. They brought the chair up for him. I don't think he really cares at this point. I know I wouldn't. There's so much made about all the things that get yelled at these officials, and I do understand that they have the toughest job on the floor, but I'm still scratching my head on a couple of these things here tonight. Not that it really, in the big picture, directly impacts the game as Nash scores and is fouled. You know, Spot's already got the lead. It's not like a three-point opportunity is going to make it, it's going to take it maybe from 18 to 15 at some point. But I'm just, some of the things I got to scratch my head at tonight. I'm chalk it up to an off night, I guess. But Nash misses the free throw attempt. Rebound control by Spot. 3:25 to play. 54-38. Garden Spot's going to go to 7-11, barring Reggie Miller walking through the door here in the next couple of minutes. Good ball moving by the Spartans. Up next, it is Mannheim Central. Huge showdown.
Enormous game.
As far as Section 3 goes in the race to get into the LL tournament, which starts quarterfinals anyway, or Monday the 14th. We got the play-in round before that, the Friday before that.
Bit of a game within the game there where you have Spot coming off 2 straight wins, and Central, like we said, if not in a full-fledged tailspin, certainly a big funk right now.
For Cocalico next, it'll be Solanco. Solanco beat Cocalico early in the season, 57-43, so they'll try to get revenge on Solanco in that one.
One of the Mules' only 2 wins this season,
That's
ironically.
Right. Yep. And our next game, our final regular season broadcast, will come your way next Friday night from the Falcon Cage at Cedar Crest, who was in a tussle tonight with Hempfield and not faring well in that game. Will take on McCaskey, and that game, really depending on what Cedar Crest does the rest of the way, as let's take a look at what the Falcons have coming up. Hempfield tonight, and that did not go well for the Falcons, but their next game will be Penn Manor. Hempfield won that game tonight, 61-44 final. McCaskey was sitting at 3-6 in the standings, and they played Penn Manor tonight. They have Susquehanna Township tomorrow.
I think if we're looking at Crest this year, Eric,